Menstruation is a complex physiological process that occurs as part of the female reproductive cycle, known as the menstrual cycle. It typically happens in females of reproductive age, starting at puberty and continuing until menopause. The cycle is regulated by hormones and prepares the body for the possibility of pregnancy. If pregnancy does not occur, the body sheds the uterine lining in the form of menstrual blood. The menstrual cycle is typically about 28 days long, but it can range from 21 to 35 days in adult females. It is divided into 4 main phases: the menstrual phase, the follicular phase, ovulation, and luteal phase. Each phase is controlled by an interplay of hormones, primarily estrogen and progesterone. The brain plays a critical role in regulating the menstrual cycle through the hypothalamus and pituitary gland, which release hormones that act on the ovaries. The hormones include 1. Gonadotropin-releasing hormone, GnRH. Released by the hypothalamus, GnRH stimulates the pituitary gland to release follicle-stimulating hormone, FSH, and luteinizing hormone, LH. 2. Follicle-stimulating hormone stimulates the growth of ovarian follicles, each containing an egg. 3. Luteinizing hormone triggers ovulation, the release of a mature egg from the ovary. 4. Estrogen, produced by the growing ovarian follicles, it helps thicken the uterine lining, endometrium, to prepare for a potential pregnancy. 5. Progesterone. After ovulation, the empty follicle, now called the corpus luteum, secretes progesterone, which further prepares the uterine lining for implantation of a fertilized egg. Phases of the menstrual cycle. Menstrual phase, days 1 to 5. This phase begins on the first day of menstruation, bleeding. During this time, the endometrium, the lining of the uterus or womb, is shed because no pregnancy has occurred. This shedding results in the release of blood, mucus, and tissue through the vagina, which is what constitutes the menstrual flow. Hormone levels, particularly estrogen and progesterone, are low at this point. Follicular phase, days 1 to 13. The follicular phase overlaps with the menstrual phase, but continues after menstruation. Follicle-stimulating hormone levels rise, stimulating the growth of several ovarian follicles. One follicle becomes dominant and matures into an egg. As the follicles grow, they secrete estrogen, which thickens the uterine lining in preparation for potential pregnancy. Ovulation, day 14. Ovulation occurs around the midpoint of the cycle. A rise in luteinizing hormone triggers the release of the mature egg from the dominant follicle in the ovary. The egg travels down the fallopian tube, also called the oviduct, where it may encounter sperm and become fertilized. This phase is the most fertile period in the cycle, lasting about 24 hours. Luteal phase, days 15 to 28. After ovulation, the empty follicle transforms into the corpus luteum, which is like a scar left behind, which secretes progesterone. Progesterone stabilizes the thickened uterine lining and prepares it for the implantation of a fertilized egg. If fertilization and implantation do not occur, the corpus luteum degenerates, progesterone levels drop, and the uterine lining begins to break down, leading to the onset of menstruation. The endometrium or lining of the womb goes through several changes during the menstrual cycle. Proliferative phase. During the follicular phase, under the influence of estrogen, the endometrium thickens and regenerates after being shed during menstruation. Secretory phase. During the luteal phase, progesterone causes the endometrium to become more glandular and secretory to support the implantation of a fertilized egg. If pregnancy does not occur, the endometrium loses its hormonal support, leading to vasoconstriction, narrowing of the blood vessels, and the shedding of the lining during menstruation. Prostaglandins are hormone-like chemicals that are released from the endometrium during menstruation. They cause the uterus to contract, helping to expel the uterine lining. However, these contractions can cause menstrual cramps, or dysmenorrhea, which are common during menstruation. Menstruation is a natural way for the body to reset the uterine lining in preparation for the next cycle. Each cycle offers an opportunity for reproduction by preparing the body for potential pregnancy. If fertilization does not occur, the cycle repeats again. There are various disorders that can occur related to menstruation. The common ones are 1. Dysmenorrhea, painful periods. It refers to intense menstrual cramps that occur during menstruation. It is caused by the release of prostaglandins, hormone-like chemicals that make the uterus contract to help shed the lining. These contractions can cause pain, especially in the lower abdomen. Dysmenorrhea can be categorized into two types: primary dysmenorrhea, which is not related to any other medical condition and typically starts in adolescence, and secondary dysmenorrhea, which results from underlying issues such as endometriosis or uterine fibroids. 2. Amenorrhea, absence of menstruation, is a condition in which menstruation is either delayed or stops entirely. Primary amenorrhea occurs when menstruation has not started by the age of 15, which could be due to genetic factors or abnormalities in reproductive organs. Secondary amenorrhea happens when a person who previously had regular periods stops menstruating for 3 months or more. This can result from factors such as hormonal imbalances, stress, extreme weight loss, or medical conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS. 3. Menorrhagia, heavy periods. It is characterized by abnormally heavy or prolonged menstrual bleeding. Women with menorrhagia may bleed for more than 7 days or lose more than 80 milliliters of blood during a cycle. This can interfere with daily activities and may cause anemia due to excessive blood loss. Menorrhagia can result from conditions like uterine fibroids, hormonal imbalances, or blood clotting disorders, and may require medical intervention to manage the condition. 4. Premenstrual syndrome, PMS. This is a collection of physical, emotional, and psychological symptoms that occur in the days leading up to menstruation. Common symptoms include mood swings, bloating, fatigue, headaches, and breast tenderness. PMS is thought to be caused by fluctuations in hormone levels, particularly estrogen and progesterone, during the menstrual cycle. The symptoms usually disappear once menstruation begins, but can be severe enough to impact daily life for some women. So in short, the entire cycle is to prepare a woman for possible pregnancy with the ovulation of mature egg. Hence, menstruation happens when there's no fertilization of the egg. Sounds like a disappointment from the reproductive system. Menstruation is a complex, hormonally regulated process that is essential for female reproductive health. It involves the cyclical preparation of the uterus for potential pregnancy, followed by the shedding of the uterine lining if pregnancy does not occur. Understanding the science behind menstruation helps clarify its role in overall health and reproduction. Subscribe to my channel to get educating information every day.